ourselves in our chair, grabbing whatever we need for our practice today. So you might be using blocks, strap, a band, or a band or a strap, a pillow, blankets, whatever you need for the practice today. Sitting ourselves in our chair, we don't want to use the back of our chair unless you've got an injury or an illness or you're getting over something. You can always use the back of the chair. You might not be using a chair at all. Maybe you are doing everything that we're going to be doing either standing or on the floor sitting up against a wall. But let's go ahead and sit ourselves up nice and tall in our chair, if that's what you're using. And our feet are planted in the floor. Let's lengthen up through that spine. Ooh, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Crown of the head is lengthening towards the ceiling, and let's roll our shoulders out. So let's go ahead and roll that back. And nice big shoulder rolls. Good. And let's go ahead and roll that forward. And big shoulder rolls forward. Very nice. And let's shrug the shoulders up to the ears and then release that down. And again, nice big shrug up and release that down. Good. One more time. Shrug that up and release that down. Good. Let's inhale and sweep this up. Big sun breath up and exhale it out. And inhale and sweep it up. And exhale it out. And inhale and sweep it up. As we exhale, let's clasp our hands behind us or reach for the back of the chair or the back of the seat of the chair. Wherever your flexibility and mobility is allowing you to go. We've got those arms behind us to open up that chest. Maybe a little bit of a back bend here. So maybe looking up towards the sky. That helps to back bend or arch that back a little bit. And then drop our chin to chest. Oh yeah. Good stretch for the neck, the lats, the back. Ooh, those traps. Bring that head to center. Let's look to the right and look to the left. And head back to center and shake that out. Inhale and sweep this up. And exhale it out. And inhale and sweep this up. And exhale it out. And inhale and sweep it up. And again, as we exhale, let's clasp our hands behind us or hold the back of the chair, back of the seat of the chair. Oh yeah, open that up again. And maybe eyes to sky, and you might be getting a little arch here for that back. Good, bring that head to center, look to the left and look to the right. Head back to center, drop our chin to chest and take our eyes to sky. And head to neutral. Good. Release those arms. Very nice. Inhale and sweep this up. As we exhale, we drop our right hand down. Let's reach that left arm over, keeping our left glute. Well, actually both glutes, but especially our left glute, because when we lean, we tend to want to lift that leg and that glute up. Go ahead and try and keep that down. Inhale and sweep the center. And let's drop this and reach over other side. So lengthen here, trying to keep that opposite glute down. So try to keep that right glute down. And trying to expand and extend our breath. So making our breath a little deeper as we get deeper into our practice. Let's inhale and sweep our arms up. Clasp our hands to the top, press our palms towards the ceiling. Lengthen up through our spine, through our arms, through that rib cage. Maybe you've got a little snaking going on right here, lengthening up through that. Let's inhale deeply and exhale it out. Or sigh it out. Inhale it again. And exhale, sigh out. One more time. Inhale it up. And exhale, big sigh out. Good. Bring those arms out in front of us. Stop hands. Rotate wrists. Rotate the other way. Good. Opening our arms out. Take our palms up, make some fists, roll our knuckles in, and then an exaggerated bicep curl. And we will do a little bit more arching for that back. We'll do our seated cat and cow here. So let's go ahead and open this up. Inhale and exhale, round our spine. Inhale and open. exhale and round. 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 Good. Bring our spine back to neutral. Lengthen up through that. Opening up our arms. Palms are facing down. And we're just going to get a little flight here. So a little bit of Pilates arms. These are like the 100 with that breath. But we're not adding in that breath. We're just using our arms. And our arms are just going up and down for right now. But let's change this to some little circles. So little circles to the front. Inhale it here. And exhale it out. Bigger circles to the front. Inhale it here. And exhale it out. Biggest circles to the front. Inhale it here. And exhale it out. And release those arms down. Oh yeah, shake that out. Give yourself a big hug. Right arm over left. And then hug it. Left arm over right. Good. Bring our arms back out. And we're going to take those little circles to the back. So circling arms other way. Inhale it deeply here. And exhale. Bigger circles. Inhale it here. And exhale. And biggest circles. Inhale it here. And exhale. And if your shoulders aren't burning, then you are awesome. Good. Go ahead and release that down. Shake that out. Give yourself a big hug. Right arm over left. And then left arm over right. Good. Awesome circulation going to that upper body. Let's inhale, reach up through our arms, lengthen up through our fingers. Let's walk our legs over to the right. Take our hands to the back of the seat of the chair and spinal twist here using the hands as leverage, leveraging that spine to twist as deeply into this as feels good for you. Let's breathe it here. Inhale it deeply. And a big exhale out. One more time, big deep inhale. And a big exhale out. Good. Reach those arms back up center and walk our legs back to center. And then let's go and walk those legs over to the left. Take those hands to the back of the seat of the chair, leveraging the other side. So good. Breathe it here. Inhale it deeply. And exhale it out. Oh my goodness. Inhale it deeply. And exhale it out. And you might have one side, oh my goodness, that it's tighter than the other. Very normal. That's this side for me. Woo! Reach those arms back up to center. Very good. We're going to do our seated sun salutations. Keep our arms lifted. Let's get a big dive down and over. Seated forward fold. Maybe you want your pillow between your belly and thighs. You can do that, or a blanket if you need something there. Hands are on our blocks or on the floor or on our shins or on our feet, wherever it's working for you. Let's inhale and lengthen. Lengthen through those arms, lengthen through that spine. Exhale and release. Big sun breath up. Inhale and sweep this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Let's hold this lengthening here. Press our right hand into our block and let's twist open to the left side. Maybe your arm lifts like this. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it goes right to your rib cage, or maybe it goes behind your head. So wherever it feels most mobile and supportive and strongest for you. We're going to do this twice on each side. So if you're not quite getting there on this time, maybe you will, as those joints warm up and as those neural pathways recognize what we're doing. They're like, oh yeah, I remember this. Okay. So your second time around, you'll be like, yeah, and I got this. Bring this back to center and release that. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Hold this here. Let's press our right hand into block. Our our left hand into block, left hand. Now we twist open with that right side. And again, like I said, with that other twist that we did, if you've got one side that's tighter than the other, very normal. Don't freak out. You're okay. Our daily lives, we use one side more than the other. Of course, naturally we do. So of course it would be the same as we are focusing in on our poses, on our strengthening, on our breathing. You can have that arm up, again, behind that head or on that lowest rib or on your waist. And then let's release that back into that forward fold. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Let's keep our right hand into that block and we're going to open up to the left again. Ooh, yeah. And maybe that's opening up a little bit more for you. Maybe there's a little bit more rotation. Maybe you can breathe a little bigger, a little more. Oh, wow. Feel that back rib cage with that breath. My goodness. And then go ahead and release that and relax. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Press that left hand into block. And let's open to that other side. So opening to the right, and yeah, it feels a little smoother on this side than it did the first time around. Hopefully it does for you too. And if it doesn't, no worries. Every day is different. This is your practice, listening to your body, going with where your body is going to go today, at this moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. Good, go ahead and release that. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. As we exhale, let's clasp our hands behind us. Open that up, open that chest, and maybe get a little arch of the back. Look to the left, look to the right. Head to center, drop our chin to chest. And lift that head to center, release our arms. Inhale and sweep this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep this up. Bring our hands to prayer. Exhale our hands to heart. Inhale and lift this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. Bring our hands to prayer. Exhale our hands to heart. Keep this here. Let's sit up tall. I'm scooting myself forward because we've got our seated hip hinge with that spinal twist, so maybe you want more room too. Again, your practice, listen to your body. Let's inhale it deeply here. As we exhale, we hinge at those hips and then we twist it over, to the left. Taking our right elbow, right tricep to that left, towards that left thigh. Maybe it goes there, maybe it doesn't. That's just kind of the bullseye. That's where your aim is at. As long as you can get a nice little twist for your torso. Breathing this here, and maybe you get into so much of a twist, you might have a little bit of an inversion here, meaning that I'm able to twist to where I can look up towards the ceiling. So my head is slightly lower than my heart, maybe, barely. Good, bring this back to center. Inhale and sweep this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep this up. Bring our hands to prayer. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Sit ourselves up tall. Inhale it deep. Exhale, hinge and twist. Oh, goodness. And one side, of course, might be tighter than the other. This side definitely not as much mobility as the other side. And that's okay. That's what we are working on. We're working on balancing at that mobility, having the same amount of strength and flexibility on both sides of the body. Breathing in here, inhaling and exhaling. And bring this back to center. Inhale and sweep this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep this up. This time as we exhale, let's take those hands behind us again. Clasp those hands behind. Get that really good opening of the chest and that really good back arch. Nice. Drop our chin to chest. Take our eyes to sky. Head to neutral. Look towards one, to the left, and towards the right. To the right. Good. Bring that head to center, release those arms, shake that out, inhale and sweep it up. And then release that down. Very nice. Let's get into our legs. So let's go ahead and go into our staff pose. You might be doing a single leg today, or you might be going double leg. We've got both of those legs lifted, our feet flexed. Let's reach up through our arms, finding our staff pose, one of the most challenging poses of the practice. No matter if you're doing chair or regular, staff pose is super challenging. Let's breathe it here. Inhale it deeply and exhale it out. Big deep inhale and exhale it out. And a big deep inhale and exhale out. Good. Release our arms down. We've got hamstring curl and leg extension for some strengthening for our legs. So let's curl this in. Our feet are flexed. And extend this out. There's 8. Curl this in and extend. There's 7. Curl this in and extend. There's 6. Curl this in and extend. There's 5. Curl this in and extend. There's 4. Curl this in and extend. There's 3. Curl this in and extend. There's 2. Curl this in. We're going to hold this extension. Hold this. Go ahead and point those toes and flex the feet. Point the toes, flex the feet. Point those toes, flex those feet, point those toes and flex those feet. Good. We're going to release our left leg, but keep our right leg lifted and lift it even higher now. Bend that knee and scooting ourselves forward. We've got a modified boat pose. So it almost looks like, you know, like one of those pedal boats that you're in on the lake, but you just got, and you're like frozen because you got one leg up. It's like a picture. That's what it looks like. Lengthen it here, right there. Nice boat. Let's inhale it deeply. Inhale and exhale it out. And inhale it deeply and exhale it out. From here, we're going to take it into our figure 4 or piriformis stretch. So let's go ahead and take our ankle, place it onto that thigh. And maybe silent screams are coming from your hip flexor, like mine. Silent screams. Oh. Or maybe you are really loose in your hips. And that is amazing. That's awesome. Good for you. I love that. I love that for you. Yeah. Otherwise, we're not worried about our posture just yet, because we're going to add in our breath and our movement in a moment where our posture will be key. But right now, your back can be rounded. We're just focusing in on this first part of our piriformis stretch, just getting into this nice figure 4. And now we will move this to the back of our seat of our chair. Our spine is tall, sitting ourselves up tall. Let's inhale it deeply here. As we exhale, we hinge this forward. So leading with our chin, leading with our chest. Trying not to round our back so that we get kind of a fold here and we get more of a deeper stretch into that hip flexor. Inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. Inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. Inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. And inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. Good. Bring this back to neutral. Spine is back to neutral. Let's take this into a half shoelace. So we take our leg, cross it over, heel goes to the corner of the chair, and you can either hold on to that shin bone, grab underneath that hamstring, or wrap that arm around. And we'll take this into a nice twist for that hip, and twist for the spine, of course, but it's a lot for that hip right there. Let's breathe it here. Inhale it deeply and exhale it out. Good. Let's bring this to center. and twisting the other direction. Oh, so good. Breathe it here. Inhale. And exhale it out. Wonderful. And bring that back to center. Give that a big hug. And we can release that down. Shake that out. Scoot ourselves forward. Let's take ourselves back into our staff pose where we're going to do the other leg. Reach up through our arms. Lengthen up through this. Lengthen through our legs, through our feet. Flex through our feet. Let's inhale it deeply here. And exhale it out. Big deep inhale. And exhale it out. And a big deep inhale. And an exhale out. Releasing our arms. Hamstring curl, leg extension. Let's curl this in and extend. There's 8. Curl this in and extend. There's 7. Curl this in and extend. There's 6. Curl this in and extend. There's 5. Curl this in and extend. There's 4. Curl this in and extend. There's 3. Curl this in and extend. There's 2. Curl this in. Let's hold our extension. Go ahead and point those toes, flex those feet. Point those toes, flex those feet. Point those toes, flex those feet. Point those toes and flex those feet. Good. We're going to release our right leg, scoot ourselves forward. And again, it's that snapshot of being on the lake in that pedal boat right there. It's our boat pose, lengthening through this. Our back is not against the seat of the chair. We're using our core here. Let's breathe it. Inhale it deeply and exhale it out. Big deep inhale and exhale it out. And a big deep inhale and exhale it out. Wonderful. Piriformis stretch and taking that right there. So good. And not to worry about that posture just yet, just focusing on this first part of our stretch, just focusing on making this figure 4 right here, just to open up that outer hip, get that glute, get all of that ready for when we do add in that movement and that breathing. All right, let's scoot ourselves back to the back of the seat of the chair, sit ourselves up tall. Let's inhale it deeply here. Exhale, hinge it forward. Inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. Inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. And inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. One more time. This feels really good on the side. Inhale it up tall and exhale, hinge. Very nice. Bring ourselves back to center, sit ourselves up tall. Good, let's take this leg over into half shoelace. Heel's gonna go to the corner of the seat of the chair, and we can wrap that arm, or you can hold onto the shin or underneath that hamstring. Let's go ahead and twist this here and breathe. This side is much easier. Let's inhale it deeply and exhale it out. Big, deep inhale. And exhale it out. And big deep inhale. And a big exhale out. Good. And then bring that to center. Give yourself a big hug and release that. Shake that out. Very nice. Scoot ourselves over to the side, to the left side. Let's go ahead and take our left leg behind us, and we're going to go into our supported crescent pose. So back heel stays lifted, our leg is lengthened, front knee is bent. Reaching up through this, we're supported by that chair. Nice little, oh yeah, good back arch right here. And nice lengthening, lifting up through this. Let's take our right hand, drop our right hand down, reach this over and lengthen. Breathing through this. So we get this nice, wonderful stretch from our fingers moving down the front side of our body. So front through our arm, down through our chest, through our abdominals, through our groin, through our hip flexor, down into that quadricep, down back into that back calf. So down into the left calf. So good. Very nice. And then let's go ahead and windmill this and do a nice little twist here. breathing this here, inhale. And exhale it out. And again, big deep inhale. And exhale it out. Good. All right, let's move this into more of a side stretch, more of a lateral stretch. So we've got we're giving our right leg the seat of the chair. We're taking our left leg off to the side. That ankle is neutral, however that feels best for you. Maybe your toes pointed in, maybe your toes pointed out. Just a nice neutral ankle. Let's lengthen up through the center right here, lifting this up. And let's go ahead and drop that right hand back down to the right side of the seat of the chair. Lengthen this over. Wow, good side stretch here. And maybe you're able to look up at your fingers. Maybe you can look down at the floor and do a little bit of neck rotation here. Wow, such good stretching for this lateral, for the lateral body. Very good. Let's windmill the arms, taking our arms safely either to our hamstring, to our quadricep, or to the calf, but not on that knee joint. And let's reach this over. So lengthening here, nice side stretch, and breathe. Very good. Changing this into our supported pigeon. So turning ourselves, giving again, keeping that right leg up onto the seat of the chair. But now we get more of that, such a good hip stretch here. That back leg is lengthened, that heel is lifted. Let's reach up through our arms. So lengthening up through this, nice and tall, still getting a little bit of a back bend here. And let's forward fold this. So your first modification, you're just on those hands. Second, down onto those elbows. Third, fold it all the way over. Maybe you're using the block. I'm working on keeping my block not as tall. I used to use it really tall. I'm trying to shorten my block down. So it's flattened a little bit, so I get, so it stretches out a little bit more. It's really easy here too, to forget about that back leg, our leg that's straight. Don't fall asleep on it, or don't let it fall asleep on you. Keep it active by pressing through that heel and maybe flexing through that quadricep. So keep that awake, keep that active. Very good. This wonderful, wonderful supported pigeon with this fold over. Let's lift ourselves back up, lengthen up through this. Good, breathe it here. And we'll go into our warriors, taking that right knee bent, left leg stays straight, warrior two arms. So warrior two legs, warrior two arms. Very good, breathe it here, inhale, and exhale it out. Drop that back arm, palm facing up, peaceful warrior, reach through this, breathe it here, inhale it deeply, and exhale it out. And now moving this into a strong side angle pose, taking this, oh yeah, that's a good side stretch, breathe it here, inhale it deeply, and exhale it out. Nice side angle. And then bring this back up into that proud warrior. Breathing it here, inhale it deeply. And exhale it out. Good, release that. Very nice. Let's bring ourselves over to our right side. Take our right leg back behind us, and we'll do everything that we just did on that left side. We're coming over to the right, doing all that same stuff. So finding ourselves in our supported crescent, front knee is bent, supported by that chair. Let's reach up through those arms, lengthen up through this, and breathe it here. Inhale it deeply, and exhale it out. Big deep inhale, and exhale it out. Good, drop that arm down, reach this over, lengthen over through that, and breathe, and exhale it out. Good, let's go ahead and do a spinal twist right here, or twisting to the side, twisting to that right. Get that nice twist. And good breath here. Inhale it. And exhale it. Good, let's bring this back to center. Let's take that left leg, give that left leg the seat of the chair. Take our right leg off to the side, just like we did with our left side. And that ankle is neutral. So however you had it on the other side, this is how you want it on this side. Move this off to the side. There we go. So maybe your toe was out, maybe your toe was in, maybe it was just nice and straight. Let's lengthen through this, reach up through that, reach up through those arms. Nice lengthening here. Let's drop that left hand back to the left side of the seat of the chair. And we get now more of that lateral stretch from our fingers to our toes. And maybe you're rotating that neck, looking up at fingers, looking down at the floor, looking up at the fingers, looking down at the floor. Good, breathing in here. And let's go ahead and windmill this, and safely hand is either on the hamstring, on that quadricep, or down on the calf, but not on that knee joint. And we're reaching this over. Breathe it here. Inhale it deeply. And exhale it out. Woo! So good. And then go ahead and release that. Let's turn this into our supported pigeon. There we go. And I do want to block for this. Put this over. All right. So lengthening up right here, right through the center, reaching up through that. Good. And let's take this into a forward fold. Taking this down or onto the elbows or all the way forward. But whatever you did on the other side, that's your goal for this side. You're trying to do the same amount of strength and balancing on this side as you did on the other side. And just breathing it here. Inhale it deeply and exhaling it out. Oh, that nod feels good. Nodding that head yes or shaking that head no. Keeping that back leg active, back heel lifted. Very good. Let's lengthen back up through this. Reach back up through that and lengthen and breathe. And then release that. Let's take our leg off to the side. We'll go into our warriors on this side. So left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Finding our warrior two legs and our strong, proud warrior arms. So warrior two arms, warrior two legs. So strong legs, strong torso, strong chest, strong neck, face is relaxed, strong arms. Breathe it here. Inhale it deeply and exhale it out. Drop our back arm, take our palm up, peaceful warrior, reaching up through that. Feels good, and breathe. From our peaceful warrior, let's take it into side angle. Lengthen over through right here and breathe this here. Inhale it and exhale it out. And bringing this up, reaching up through that and breathe. And release. All right, let's keep our legs wide. Grab those blocks. Take our blocks to the inside of our feet and we'll do a wide spinal twist. So let's keep our right hand pressed into our block and let's lift our left arm open. Wide leg, wide arms, opening this up. Very good. Breathe it here. And then release that down center. We'll take it to the other side. So left hand stays on that block. Right arm lifts up and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. And release that. Good. Let's bring those legs together. Take our blocks to the floor. Let's inhale and sweep our arms up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Seated forward fold. We're gonna go into our standing forward fold. So let's lift our glutes up off the chair, press our feet into the floor, lift those glutes up, and standing nice and strong on the floor. Good, hands are on those blocks, or they can be on the shins, or maybe they're on the floor. Maybe you've got that flexibility. Let's inhale, flatten that back, look forward, tabletop. Exhale and release. Good, take a seat back in that chair. Inhale and sweep this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Pressing our feet into the floor, lift our glutes up off the chair. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale and release. Take a seat back in that chair. Inhale and sweep this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Lift our glutes up off the chair, standing forward fold. Inhale, flat back, look forward, tabletop. Exhale, release. Standing here, stay standing. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up, lengthen up through this. Exhale, cactus our arms back. Inhale and lift this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale, sweep our arms up. Exhale, cactus those arms back. Inhale and lift this up. Exhale, dive it down and over. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and release. Inhale and sweep our arms up. Cactus our arms back as we exhale. Good. Inhale and lift this up. And then let's release our arms to our sides. Very nice. Let's turn our chair around and we're going to do a little bit of a modified downward facing dog. So taking our hands to the back of our chair, let's walk our feet back and we make a nice table right here. Our feet are maybe hip width or closer. You can have your toes touching if you want. You can have your legs touching if that feels good for you. I'm going to have mine just a tad bit apart. So yeah, a little less than hip width, but allowing that head to sink between those shoulders, between those arms, and getting a really good chest and armpit stretch here, but also really good hamstring, glute, backs of the legs stretch right here as well. So nice, especially if you have some difficulty with doing a regular downward facing dog. This can be your modification, or this can also help stretch and strengthen you to get to prepare for your downward facing dog, to get yourself stronger to do your downward facing dog. Good, let's go ahead and bring ourselves up. Very nice, and we can turn that chair around. We're not going to use it quite yet. We're going to take ourselves to our mat, but standing still, and we're going to take our toes facing out, and we're going to take our arms facing out. So we're going to go into some plies right here, and we're going to take ourselves down into goddess right here. Elbows go right into that waist, just right here, and then we're going to lift this up and lengthen up through that. Let's add in that breath. Inhale, take this down, and exhale, lift this up. Inhale, taking this down, and exhale, lift this up. Inhale, taking this down, and exhale, lifting this up. One more time. Inhale, taking this down, and exhale, lifting this up. Good. Let's release our arms. We're going to take our left foot, and it's going to go to the left side even more, and we're going to bring our right foot in and slightly inwards. So now our heel, left heel, is lined up with our right foot arch. So we've got this wonderful stance, and we're going to take it into a nice triangle. So let's tilt our hips even more over to the right, and we're going to open this up down into a triangle. So you can use a block here. You can even use the chair here if that feels good for you. And I'm liking the chair. So I'm going to use the chair here. Very nice. See, the chair can be used for a ton of stuff, or you can have your hand on your shin or on the floor, whatever feels best for you. But we're thinking about rotating that rib cage open, lengthening through the hip through the rib cage on both sides of the rib cage, underneath as well. Good, and bring ourselves up and then release that. Let's open those feet up again. So we take ourselves back into this 5-pointed star and back into those plies. So let's bring ourselves down and lift ourselves up. So let's inhale it down and exhale, lengthen. Inhale it down and exhale, lengthen. Good, inhale it down and exhale, lengthen. Inhale it down and exhale, lengthen. And inhale it down and exhale, lengthen. And inhale it down and exhale, lengthen. Good. We can release our arms. And now we take our right foot to the right side. Let's bring our left foot in, lining up our right heel with our left foot arch. And then taking our hips, tilting them over to the left side and bringing ourselves down into triangle. Maybe you need to move your chair over. I didn't give you enough time, so you have time right now. If you need to move that chair over and then get yourself back into your triangle, I'm just going to use a block here for a moment. Oh yeah, but opening ourselves up into this triangle, into this wonderful stretch. Stretch for that torso, stretch for the inner thighs, outer thighs, legs, lengthening through that, nice breathing. If you're finding any of your muscles are seizing up or getting very tight, use your breath. Try and breathe deeper, bigger, bigger inhale, bigger exhale. That can be very helpful in smoothing that out and releasing that tightness, or helping to relieve the tightness. Good. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves up and then release that down. Very nice. Roll those shoulders back and roll those shoulders forward. We're going to take ourselves down onto our backs and we're going to go into our modified shoulder stand. So place your chair where you want it. Grab a block or whatever you use to support your low back, your sacrum, and then grab whatever you need for final relaxation for when we get there. If you use an eye pillow, regular pillows, blankets, whatever you are using. And let's take ourselves down onto the floor, or maybe you're up against a wall. Maybe you're scooting your glutes up against a wall because your legs are going to be supported up against a wall. Otherwise, we're scooting ourselves up against our chair, taking our legs up onto the seat of our chair. And then let's go ahead and take whatever we're using to support our backs. If you're using back support, let's take that right underneath our sacrum. So I'm using a block, and my blocks aren't super stiff. If you have really stiff blocks, you can put a towel or a blanket if the edges tend to like dig in. So use as many props, as many things to make your practice work for you and comfortable, because you don't want this to be painful because of the props. So think of that as well. It's not cheating. It's not cheating, I promise. And we're going to go ahead and lengthen up through our legs. Go ahead and lift those arms up, and we're going to do kind of a little mummy or a Bride of Frankenstein, a dead bug. Our shoulder blades are down and back, kind of flattened into the floor, and our arms, our fingers are just reaching for those toes. So our arms are lifted. And you can have stillness here. You could be pointing and flexing those feet. You could be rotating those ankles. You could be working on maybe some outer or inner thigh flexibility and letting those legs slowly drift apart. But we've got plenty of time here, a lot of breathing time here for you to practice however you want. Practice this inversion pose. You can even have your feet together, knees apart or knees together. Sometimes that feels good too, knees together and having those arms, oh yeah, back behind, just to get that really big hug right here. It's almost into that plow. That might feel good too. And if you have your arms up, you can now put your arms off to the side, or you can be still hugging yourself. That feels really good. Sometimes those hips get super tight and super tired. This can feel really good for those hip flexors. But just breathing as you're enjoying this inversion, as those legs are lifted above the head, above the heart, the circulation changing. So good. Maybe pointing and flexing those feet. You rotating those ankles. Maybe stillness is good for you. Maybe super duper flexed feet. So imagining that somebody is standing on your feet and you're having to balance them. You're having to be strong enough to hold them up. And that engages the core big time if you do that. You think about, okay, my feet need to be flat because somebody's going to stand on them. Oh my goodness, right there. Yep. And let's go ahead and release one leg, release the other leg. Let's take our right ankle, place it onto our left thigh, and go ahead and press that inner thigh away. Press that right inner thigh away. So you get a good outer hip stretch. And then let that go, release that. Let's take our left ankle to our right thigh, press that left inner thigh away. And release that. Good, very nice. Actually, let's go ahead and take those legs up one more time, just for a couple breaths here. Just because it feels good. Again, maybe pointing and flexing those feet. Be super helpful for the nervous system. Super healing for those joints. And just breathe. And let's release one leg and release the other leg. Very nice. And let's go ahead and release that block or whatever you got underneath. And you can move the chair off to the side. And let's grab what we need for our final relaxation, because that's where we are going. So if you use an eye pillow, go ahead and grab that eye pillow. Let's go into a happy baby's pose. So let's reach behind those knees, and this could be your first part of your happy baby's pose, but just reaching behind those hamstrings, behind those knees, and pulling this in. This might be your happy baby's pose. If you want to go further, you can reach those peace fingers up for those big toes and pull that down. Oh yeah, oh goodness. Or you can be reaching for the outside of those feet or the inside of those feet. So whatever feels best for you, and maybe a little bit of rocking from side to side, or maybe some stillness. That can feel really good in that low back, in those hips, outer hips, inner thighs, hip flexors. And use that breath, especially if you start to feel nauseous in this, or if it starts to be like, it's comfortably uncomfortable. Use your breath here. And let's go ahead and release one leg and release the other leg. Very nice. Let's lengthen through our legs. That feels good. Lengthen through our legs towards one end of the room. Reach through our fingers towards the other end. And imagining that somebody is pulling at your wrists. So somebody pulling at your wrists, somebody else pulling at your ankles. Lengthening that body. Adding a few inches to your height here. Inhaling it deeply. And exhaling it out. As you exhale, sink and settle. Let those feet just fall open. Arms are just open. Heart is open towards the sky. And maybe it feels good for you to have your legs lengthened. Maybe it feels good for you to have your knees apart and your knees bent. Or yeah, legs apart, knees bent. Whatever feels best for you in this relaxation pose. Just quieting that mind, quieting that body, slowing everything down, breathing deeply. Start relaxing. Let's bend our knees and maybe flatten through that back if it's available to you. Sometimes our backs don't flatten, and that's okay. Let's drop both of those knees over to one side. Take yourself onto your side. And a few breaths here. And slowly, let's press ourselves up, bring ourselves up into a seated pose that feels strong and supportive for you. And sitting ourselves up tall. Good, up through that spine. Let's inhale and sweep this up. Bringing our hands to prayer. And exhale, eyes following our fingers, and take our chin to chest. Lift that head center, take our fingers to forehead. As we leave today, let us think thoughts of truth. Take our fingers to our lips. As we leave today and speak with others, let us speak words of love. And take our hands to our hearts. As we leave today, let our lives be a light of truth and a light of love, having hearts of compassion and mercy, knowing that we have not been given the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love and a sound and peaceful mind. Inhaling it deeply and exhale. Again, big deep inhale and a big cleansing exhale.